Hey guys, hello and welcome back to the channel. Today we are doing a proper deep dive into the 2012 Volkswagen Jetta 2.0 TDI 6-speed manual, a car that was a pretty big deal when it came to India. The Jetta nameplate globally goes all the way back to 1979, but in India, this generation really established the brand in the premium sedan space. The Jetta was first launched in India in July 2008, assembled locally at the brand's Aurangabad plant and offered in petrol and diesel variants across multiple trims, including a DSG-equipped diesel Comfortline. In August 2011, Volkswagen introduced a newer generation Jetta to India, imported via the CKD route and assembled at the Chakan factory, with updated styling and modernized features. The car received a mild makeover in October 2013 and a more comprehensive facelift in February 2015, with refreshed exterior elements like a new grille and LED rear lights as well as interiors updated. Despite its build quality and performance, sales remained limited amid strong competition. The Volkswagen eventually discontinued the Jetta in the Indian market around early 2018. Over time, this car built a solid reputation for blending proper German engineering in an everyday car. So today, we'll break it down properly. Exteriors, interiors, features, driving, dynamics, safety, reliability, and whether it still makes sense in today's used market. Up front, the 2012 Jetta has a very clean, no-nonsense design. It's all straight lines, very German, very understated. It kind of reminds you of the Vento, but bigger and more grown up. You get dual reflector halogen headlights with a slightly smoked effect. No projector lamps or DRLs in the pre-facelift version, which honestly was a bit disappointing back then because competitors had started offering them. Also, I noticed that at night the stock headlights throw isn't super strong. A more powerful or better focused headlight setup would make nighttime driving feel much more confidence inspiring. After the October 2013 facelift, projector headlights and DRLs were added, but only on the Highline variant. The bumper design is simple, maybe even a bit too simple for some people. The grille is neat but not aggressive, and the fog lamp housing looked very similar to a much cheaper Volkswagen models, which slightly diluted that premium feel. Thankfully, the facelift cleaned this up and made the front look sharper and more sophisticated. The Jetta was offered in mature, classy colors, shades like candy white, reflex silver, deep black, and toffee brown, suited its understated personality really well. Now, from the side, this is where the Jetta really shines. There's a strong shoulder line running from the front fender all the way back to the tail lamps, giving it a sense of motion even when parked. The lower character line keeps things cohesive and balanced. The ORVMs are large and practical, great visibility for highways and city use. They also come with integrated LED turn indicators. On the High Line, you also get chrome window trim, which adds a nice premium touch. In person, the car looks longer than it does in photos. At 4644 mm, it was actually the longest car in its segment back then, and that really gives it a planted road presence. This particular car came running in 205 55 R16 tires. It originally came with Comfortline style 5-spoke alloys, which looked basic. These suit the car much better. From the back, the car looks muscular. Honestly, from certain angles, it gives proper Audi A4 vibes. This is easily the best angle of the car in my opinion. The rear lights have a clean wraparound design and glow nicely at night with a fog light, giving the car a wider stance visually. Higher trims like this one get front and rear parking sensors, and the proximity display shows up on the infotainment screen. This makes tight parking much less stressful. Overall, the design is very minimalist. It doesn't shout for attention, it grows on you. Ground clearance at 159mm sounds low on paper, but suspension is well tuned well enough to clear most speed breakers without scraping. The first thing you notice when you enter the cabin is that solid German door thud. Panel gaps are tight and everything feels properly built. The roofliner quality is impressive, nicely finished, well fitted, and it doesn't sag even after years. Once inside, the cabin feels more spacious than the exterior suggests. Headroom is generous, both front and rear, and the upright glass area gives excellent visibility outside. The front seats are wide, nicely bolstered, and supportive for long drives. The dashboard uses soft touch plastics with subtle wooden trim inserts, which really elevate the premium feel. Yes, even the Highline gets artificial leather upholstery instead of genuine leather. But honestly, it has aged really well. No cracks, no sagging, nothing dramatic. Seat cushioning is on the firmer side, which actually helps on long drives. You don't feel drowsy or overly cushioned. Behind the front seats, you also get scooped rear storage pockets, which are more practical than simple flat back pockets. The instrument cluster has this 3D depth to it, analog dials, clear MID in its center. It's actually easier to read than the flatter facelift version. The MID shows fuel economy, range, service reminders, and warnings, all controlled from the steering mounted buttons. The headlight switch is a rotary dial located to the right of the steering wheel and feels solid and tactile. Plus, it even has an automatic light setting that turns the headlights on and off based on ambient lighting. The steering wheel feels fantastic in hand, 3-spoke design with metallic inserts. You get both reach and rake adjustment, so finding a comfortable driving position is easy. The rear view mirror controls are intuitive. It is placed at the door panel above the wooden trim. The IRVM is auto dimming, reducing glare at night. It is also conveniently sized with proper visibility. Window switches feel solid and tactile. All 4 windows get one-touch up-down functionality. Not everything is perfect though. The climate control knobs and some steering buttons feel slightly flimsy compared to the rest of the cabin. Small detail but noticeable, especially since you touch these every time you enter the car. Moving on to storage and practicality, glove box that is sufficiently large, which is cooled and also lockable. Front armrest with storage, 2 cup holders with spring grips, rear armrest with cup holders, sunglass holder, 1-liter bottle holders in all doors, 12-volt charging socket in the front and rear for device charging. Rear seat comfort is excellent for 2 adults. There's loads of legroom and headroom. Even a 6-footer can sit behind another tall driver comfortably. You get rear AC vents, but honestly, the airflow isn't strong enough for peak Indian summers. That's one area where it could have been better. The central tunnel is quite high, so seating 3 adults isn't ideal. Boot space is massive at 510 liters. It easily handles your entire family's luggage requirements. You also get 60-40 split seats and a ski pass-through. It's genuinely practical for family trips. The diesel 2.0 TDI came in 2011, and in April 2012, Volkswagen added the 1.4 TSI petrol to widen the appeal in the D segment. You had 3 main trims: Trendline at the base, this Comfortline variant in the middle, and the Highline. The Highline added things like electrical adjustment for driver's seat, more chrome detailing, extra features, automatic climate control, while lower variants got a regular manual AC setup, and an overall more premium vibe. The variant split was quite clear. Trendline was fairly basic, Comfortline added essentials, and the Highline packed the most of the tech and comfort features. An aftermarket block punk music system has been installed in this vehicle with a rear view camera as well. The original systems RCD 320 and the RNS 510 on Comfortline and Highline respectively didn't get rear view cameras, which is a miss, though it came with proximity sensors on the front and rear part of the vehicle. This system supports aux, SD card, USB playback and Bluetooth. An additional subwoofer has been installed. The 6-speaker setup sounds clean even at highway speeds, and the overall setup is well balanced and great to hear. Parking sensors integrate into the screen. Steering controls are backlit and intuitive. You also get several other features, including hill hold assist, cruise control at the Highline variant, electrically adjustable and heated ORVMs, headlamp washers, auto dimming IRVM, automatic climate control, again on the Highline variant. Cornering lights, it also comes with rain sensing wipers that cover the windshield really well. AC performance in the front is strong. However, rear air vents are a bit too weak for Indian conditions and could have been better. Now the best part, how it drives. The 2.0 TDI makes 140 bhp and 320 Nm of torque. That 320 Nm is what you really feel. If you look at the torque curve, peak torque comes in low and stays strong through the mid-range. which perfectly matches real world overtaking needs. Turbo kicks in at around 1750 rpm and pulls strongly through the mid range. At 100 km per hour in 6th gear, it's sitting under 1800 rpm, relaxed and great for highway cruising. City mileage is at around 15 km per liter and the highway mileage is around 20 quite consistently. The clutch is slightly heavy in traffic, but the gearbox is slick. High-speed stability feels rock solid. It feels planted even at very high speeds. Steering gains weight as you go faster and feels precise. As far as the suspension setup goes, McPherson studs at the front, multi-link at the rear gives excellent balance. Slightly firm ride but very composed. Minimal body roll. Braking feels confident with all 4 disc brakes, ABS, EBD and ESP. This is a driver's sedan. Safety was genuinely one of Jetta's strong suits. The Highline had up to 8 airbags, ABS with EBD, ESP stability control and hill hold assist. And it earned a 5-star Euro NCAP rating for adult and child protection. The Comfortline variant had 6 airbags as standard. That's reassuring for a car of its age. Build quality feels solid throughout, with well put together panels and a durable cabin that still holds up. As for ownership, maintenance is not at all cheap if you stick strictly to official Volkswagen service centers. Genuine OEM parts and dealer labor can add up. But things become far more manageable when you work with a trusted independent specialist who uses OE quality or equivalent parts at much more reasonable prices and still does the job right. The mechanicals themselves are generally dependable, and because this example has a 6-speed manual, you sidestep one of the more complex issues some Jetta owners talk about, the DSG dual clutch gearbox. This one is the wet clutch DQ250 unit, which is actually a more robust wet clutch design compared to dry clutch DSGs in other VAG vehicles. But dual clutch systems in general can still be a concern in city traffic if not maintained properly, with mechatronics or clutch wear complaints cropping up if service intervals aren't followed. Which also is kind of hard to ensure when purchasing a used vehicle. If you're buying an automatic Jetta, try to set aside some funds for contingency, which will ensure your peace of mind. Back in 2012, this car costed around 14 to 20 lakhs ex-showroom. In 2026, you can find clean examples between 5 to 7 lakhs depending on condition and mileage and where you're from. For that money, you're getting D-segment space, German build quality, strong diesel performance, excellent highway manners. Compared to rivals like the Corolla Altis, Elantra, Cruze, Fluence, or even Octavias, this still feels solid and relevant. There's also a good scope for tasteful upgrades that really complement what the Jetta already does well. A Stage 1 ECU remap can unlock smoother throttle response and a little extra power without stressing the engine in its stock form. Better alloys can instantly improve stance, subtle lowering springs, firmer body control, and sharpened cornering. A catback exhaust enhances the sound and helps exhaust flow. And OEM plus cosmetic enhancements like nicer head or tail lights or subtle trim pieces keep things looking classy rather than overdone. These kinds of mods help the car feel more like yours without turning it into something extreme. The idea is to enhance performance and aesthetics while keeping the build clean. Because this Jetta's character, in my opinion, really suits subtle, well thought out upgrades rather than wild changes. Even today, the 2012 Jetta 2.0 TDI Comfortline feels special. It's understated and solid, the kind of car that makes you enjoy getting behind the wheel. Whether you're cruising at 100 km per hour, threading through traffic, or just settling in for a long drive. The way it pulls with confidence from low revs, the balanced suspension that feels planted even over rough patches, and that satisfying sense of weight when you shut the door. It all adds up to the car that feels well put together and grown up. Sure, if you really focus on the tiny details, you might wish that the rear AC airflow was stronger or that a few bits of switchgear felt a bit more premium on the Comfortline. And owning any 10-plus-year-old European car means you have to keep an eye on maintenance. but the overall experience is still genuinely pleasing. There's something about the way the 2.0 TDI engine thrum settles into a relaxed groove on the long highway run, and how the whole package feels comfortable, confident, and robust in everyday use. If you enjoy driving and want something that feels robust, honest, and rewarding to live with, this still makes a lot of sense. I'd say absolutely go for it. If you enjoyed this detailed breakdown, make sure to like, subscribe, and let me know what car you want reviewed next. Thank you for watching.